Hello, it's T with Teresa H Creates, and today's video is a haul video. And I recently mentioned that I had not spent money and I was scaling back, and then I did it. And once I purchased one thing, and that was it. That was it. So this is going to be just a hodgepodge of lots of different things that I've purchased. So it started off with things that I really did need. So I needed some new eyelets. I prefer these larger ones with the washer so that they look great on the back too. Um, so I have these, and these are great, but they weren't matching what I needed, right? So it's just these little metal ones. They weren't matching the style of what I needed, and I needed some of these bronze ones. Okay, but I could not figure out the sizes, so I ended up ordering two different sets, and I thought, oh, well, I'll return the one that doesn't work, but they actually both work. So I decided I'd keep them, and I can't open anything. All right, let me see. All right, so I needed these for my Alice in Wonderland book. So this is how this relates back to Alice in April, okay? I needed supplies. So look, it has a little packet of washers in there. So that has the nice backing, and then this size, and I don't know what size it is. Goodness. Yeah, see, it doesn't even say. I don't know what size it is. And then there's this size, and it doesn't say what size it is either. Yeah, no. But there they are. And you can see side by side, they're the same color, but this one right here is larger. So, but this one has a nice little container, so that's sweet. So I've got enough brass colored eyelets that I shouldn't need more for a long time. Okay, and then I was also looking for, so I'm working on, or I actually just finished my steampunk journal for Alice in Wonderland, and I wanted something with some gears, and I was having a hard time finding like the little shapes, but I found all these. So these are like basically like your reinforcers for your pages or for tags, and there are all these different shapes. And so I got it for this. So I think this was like $6. And the quality of it is actually really good. So I got it for this, and then this is what it punched out. So it's actually just a really good quality. So I got that on Amazon. And I thought they would kind of be handy because there's quite a few of those that I would actually use. And then this, I forgot what this is. I don't know what this is. Oh, perfect. Okay. So again, back to my steampunk journal that I'm working on. Here are some, I think they're 1.5-inch rings, but there's some of that brass, and then there's some in the black. So perfect. Because the ones that I have with my journal are just these metal ones, these shiny ones, and that wasn't going to work. I really wanted either some black or some brass, and so that's what these are. Okay, good. Now I know what those are. So see, those were essentials. I really needed those, okay? And so since I wasn't doing any haul videos myself, I've been watching a lot of haul videos, so I kind of want to say it wasn't really my fault. I had a lot of enablers, but everybody kept doing these great hauls from Daiso. And I know that we have a Daiso around here, so I was finally like, you know what? I'm going to head over to a Daiso, and I'm going to see what's going on. I'm going to check it out. So this is what I picked up. I picked up some of their frill tapes. It says frill tape organdy, but it's this trim. Let me pull this out. Yeah, it's just this little bit of trim. It's this organdy trim, and I thought that they would be cute, so I picked out some colors that I liked. See? So I got the black, and I guess this kind of brown color, like a taupe, and then this cream, and then this gray that's actually a little bit different. It's chiffon instead of the organdy. And then I picked this up. It looks like just these little cards. Yeah, they're just message cards. But I picked up this set because I thought they would make cute little ephemera pieces. So I don't know if any of you have actually been into a Daiso. I believe it's a Japanese company. I went in there because I'd seen all of these great. So there are 40 of them, and there are 2 styles. So that's what they look like. And they're actually really thin. I thought that they would be a little bit of a heavier weight, so they're actually pretty thin. I don't know, knowing that they're that thin, I don't know if I would have bought those, but I've got them now. So I'll use those. But anyhow, let me see, craft paper bag, because you know I love me some Winnie the Pooh. So I found somebody just like me. That's super cute. And then, let me see, I found, oh, this little stationery kit. I got it for the envelopes. I liked the envelopes, and so that's why I picked that up. Oh, and then I'm working on a Snow White little golden book journal for a friend. And so I got that for the cover. And then, of course, this is a bandana. And so I picked it up because I thought, yep, I'll use it. It's Winnie the Pooh. It's really cute. I'll find some way to incorporate it or use it. And I've got all that Winnie the Pooh stuff anyway. And then, oh, this was just another set of stationery. It's these little cherry blossoms, but I thought these guys were cute. And so I thought, oh, it's something different, right? It's a little bit different shape. And then I went down their supply aisle, like where all the coloring books and sketchbooks and things were, and I picked up this really cool grid paper, and I thought, well, I can just incorporate that, you know, into some of my journals. I could probably tea dye it and it would look pretty cool. So that was it. Overall, I wasn't that impressed, and so it was a small store, and there was a lot of stuff. It was so much stuff, and after a while, it starts to just become too much. It was just too much for me. And so I think there was another bit of ribbon that I got, but I've already used it. So it was another little bit of cream, like a cream colored trim. And I want to say for all of this, I think I paid like 20 bucks while I was there. So not super expensive or anything like that. And I did pick up a few things, but I wouldn't go again. And that's just, you know, that's just me. It was just overwhelming for me. Stores that are packed that tightly with so much product, after a while, I can't even focus my eyes, and I'm done and done. So after I came out of there, because it wasn't as good for me as I've seen it for other people, like their hauls are fantastic, I was like, you know what? I'm going down to Joann's. I'm going to see what they've got. So I did find this Classic Pooh die cut pack. And I thought, you know what? Gotta have it. It already had a hole in it, so it probably doesn't have all the pieces. I'm sure some of them fell out, and some of them have like this little glitter on them and everything. And so it's not in great shape, but it's Winnie the Pooh. And so I had to rescue him. So he came home with me. My local Joann's just didn't, I don't know, it didn't have a whole lot of crafting stuff left, honestly. It had lots of paper, but it just, in the crafting sections, there just wasn't the stamps and stencils and things like that. They were pretty much gone. I did find some of these Delusions sprays, so I did go ahead and get some of these. This is the Vibrant Turquoise. These are just the smaller sets. I think I even have a couple of these. I think I have the Vibrant Turquoise, but I liked these purples, and so I wanted to get those. And I don't remember how much this was. I don't remember how much I paid for that. Everything in that store that I picked up was like 50 to 70% off. So I didn't pay a ton for it. And then I ended up picking up these little guys. There weren't very many flowers left. They were pretty much blown out, but something about this color scheme spoke to me, so I picked it up. And then I went to the open stock cardstock, and I picked up paper, because paper for open stock was like 70% off. And so this was some Maggie Holmes, because I need more Maggie Holmes, right? And so I picked these up, but 70% off. I was like, you know, and I just thought this was a really pretty little collection. I don't even know what it is, or if it's even a Forever Fields is what it says. So I guess this is a particular collection. It is the Forever Fields collection by Maggie Holmes. And this little heart, isn't that pretty? That's so pretty. And then they're going to start to duplicate, because I went back and grabbed more. There were some that I was like, you know what? I need more of those. I actually want more of those. Oh, and then I thought this was just so cool. So this is Bo Bunny, and this is Charmed Chronicles, right? Both of these are Bo Bunny Charmed Chronicles. I liked the black and white butterflies, but this, I thought this was just a really, really, really neat pattern. So I picked that up. And then I went over, I looked at the basil. There wasn't a ton there. I think I picked up some reds and blues. There wasn't a whole lot there. Here they are. So no blues. No, it was just some maroons and reds. I like my cardstock with a nice texture to it. I did go by and look at the Park Lane to see if it was on sale, and they still had it at 20% off. So that those premium packets are the ones that I like, because I liked the texture on them, and they're just a good, nice, you know, weight. And yeah, they're still, for me, still expensive. I'm I'm waiting for them to go down more. 20% off. Like all your open stock. The basil is 70% off, but then the premium Park Lane paper was just 20%. See, and then this was the only one in this blue that they had. So it was pretty blown out as far as that goes. They still had lots and lots of fabric at the one that I was at, but just nothing that really spoke to me, you know, because I don't need tons of fabric. I tend to get just little bits and pieces. I did go ahead and pick up some of their handmade papers, though. And apparently some vellum. I picked up some vellum, too. I think I have some more vellum in here. Let me see. I did. I picked up these vellum pieces too, because I thought those were pretty. It's just the flowers. And then, okay, so then the handmade papers. And these also were 70% off. So those ended up being pretty inexpensive. I really liked those. And this color I thought was just so pretty. So I picked these up, and I have 3 of these. And I got this guy, and I like the, I don't know if you can see it, it's got a little bit of the gold. And then I liked this one. It has a little bit of pink in there. So anyhow, that was it. So yeah, it was kind of underwhelming. I would have been super excited if they'd had, you know, if they'd had some of that larger card stock or something. But yeah, if they'd had those big packets for sale, that would have been fine. But totally made up for it. So when I went to my crop a couple of weeks ago, or was it a couple of weekends, last weekend actually, I think, they had advertisements there for a Destash they were doing. So I think there were like 18 participants. They were doing a Destash. The Destash was today. So that's where I spent most of my day, doing the Destash. And so I picked up, I'm not going to say I picked up, this is what I rescued. It was like some remainders of kits. I've been doing that a lot lately, but I have a lot of these, and so I'm totally fine mixing these in with, you know, my stash. Or if you find the Echo Park and Cartabellas, you can always, they always will match with all the others. So you can incorporate them into all the other like fall themed collections, and they go together just fine. Right? So isn't that pretty? You know what? I bought this paper or this packet because of this paper. I thought those pumpkins were gorgeous. And then these flowers. How beautiful is that? So that was Cartabella Fall Market. And so this kit also came with the chipboard, the little ephemera bits. Looks like a 6x6 pack. Some enamel dots and washi tape. So, and I want to say this was, is there a price on this? This was $2. It was $2. I got that for $2. Okay, I got this for $2 as well, I believe. So this is the Echo Park Spring Market. I have this collection. It's down to just kind of remnants, so I'm going to add this to it, and I'll be able to incorporate that. So isn't that nice? Okay. And then at the Destash, I picked up this kit. Oh, it's loud. It was $10, and it's graphic 45. It's the couture kit. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. That is so loud. So it's a trifold waterfall album. There is a whole pack of glitter cardstock, 5 sheets. And then it looks like the entire 12x12 collection, and then chipboard and stickers. So $10, that wasn't bad at all. At all. So I rescued that. Okay, and then I rescued a bunch of this ribbon from a lady who was selling. So she had just buckets and buckets. I could have been there all day. And these were anywhere from $1 to $2. Some of them were like 25 cents. Most of them were $2. Some of the larger lace bits were a little more expensive. So like this was 50 cents for all this trim and stuff. Oh my gosh, she had so much. Look at this. Isn't it pretty? Oh, and then these little doily bits. Look at that. And then I got this. I thought this was just pretty. That was kind of unique. Let me see. What else did I get? This bit of trim. And I had just been talking about the fact that I needed to get more lace trim. I needed more lace bits and trim. Y'all, and I don't even know why I picked this up. I think because it was green. I don't know. Anyway, I got it. I got excited and was just grabbing stuff. Okay, and then that was a little bit of a crocheted bit. But, I mean, at those prices... And then I got these buttons. I don't know why. I haven't done anything with buttons in forever, but they were cute. So I got them. Wooden buttons. And then I picked this up. Prima Flowers. Again, I don't know why. I just liked it. I don't even do a whole lot with flowers, and I got it anyway. Oh, I have a problem. I have a problem. But this was cool. I thought this was a really good find. I was digging deep. She had 3 buckets full of big buckets, like big 5-gallon buckets that were just full of trim and ribbon and remnants and stuff. And I was like, you know what? She gave me another bucket and was like, here, just toss it in, work through it. Okay. I think that this is another kit. I don't know that it actually has the book with it though, or maybe it does. Well, I guess I could open it up. How much was this? This was $2. $2. And I have some of this collection, so I thought, oh, fun. I'll add to it. So this is so it looks like they probably did do the kit, and so this is just the remnants or whatever's left over, but it looks like there's a substantial amount of this collection left over. And this is the Graphic 45 Let It Snow collection, and I do have some of that. So yeah, the kit leftovers. And so they gave me the rings. Look. And this is actually perfect because if my 1.5-inch rings that I just bought don't work, these guys will work on my journal. So that is actually perfect. Looks like some ephemera. An empty package. Those were the leftovers. I'm not complaining. Okay, the Let It Snow journaling cards, and then the Shades of Blue flower assortment. And I think this is the same. Yep. So there you go. $2 though. $2. Okay. I brought my own tote. So let me just empty it out. That way everything is out on the table. Oh, look, I have more lace trim. So I picked up more trim. This is from the same lady. It was just at the bottom of that. See, 50 cents. $1 for this nice wide lace bits. 50 cents for like these little bits of lace remnants. Just wonderful. Okay. And that's really truly it for those. And what are these? This was not $7.50, so this was Stampin' Up. I think I paid $1 for this, but it's a little hexagon enamel dots, and I'd never seen those before, so I got them. And then I got this little pack, and it wasn't $11.50. This was just $3, so I picked this up. So it's just a 6x6 with some of these florals. I really liked it, and it looks like they're double-sided. I don't know how many is in here. It was just this little kit. Somebody who does Stampin' Up! Would probably recognize this, but I just thought that this collection was really pretty. Yeah, look at the little bumblebees. I thought it was really pretty, these colors and the way it's done. Almost looks kind of watercolor. Well, I don't know if it's watercolor. I don't know what I'm thinking of, the word I'm thinking. Anyway, it was really pretty. And I mean, $3. Okay. And then for $1, I picked up these Graphic 45 cling stamps, and it was all these little bottles. And I was like, oh, I can totally use these for my, Alice in Wonderland project, right? All the Drink Me bottles. And these are perfect for fussy cutting. That's my kind of fussy cutting. All right. And then, oh, this is stuck. This was $5, but I have been obsessed with the Crafter's Companion stuff lately because I just think that their stuff is absolutely gorgeous. And it was a complete collection. And I thought, you know what? For $5, isn't that beautiful? It's so pretty. I'm telling you, their papers are just gorgeous. So, so pretty. All right. And then, but wait, there's more. I got this one. This was just remnants too, and I don't know what about this appealed to me. Something about it I liked. And so this is die cuts, and it looks like, I've never seen anything like that, close to my heart. And then here was just some solid cardstock in there. And then just a little bit of these stickers in here. And I didn't open it while I was there. I'm not sure why I picked this up. Look at it. That's pretty. It's Cosette. So that is the paper. Isn't that beautiful? That's a beautiful piece of paper. So I picked this up. And then the sticker sheet. All right. And then I grabbed a bunch of handmade paper because I thought these would be a lot of fun in junk journals. So it was all of these, and they open up really big. So they're 22 by 30, right? Yeah. They were 2 for $1. So they look like eco prints or whatever. It's got these leaves on there. It says they originally was a pack of 12 for $12, but nope, this was 2 for $1. And I was like, this is absolutely gorgeous. I can totally see this as pages on in a junk journal, especially if it's, and you can feel the, oh, it's gorgeous. You can feel the texture on it. Anyway, I was like, this could totally be pages in a junk journal, especially one with, you know, a botanic kind of a theme. I just thought that this was absolutely gorgeous. And again, 2 for $1. Isn't that pretty? That was so pretty. And then from the same person, I bought these, and these were also 2 for $1. Just these hand-dyed kind of papers here, handmade papers. Some of them are thicker than others. These with the little gray backgrounds are a lot thinner. These right here are thicker. They have the lighter color back. Like this is super thick. That's thinner. Really thick. That's a little bit thinner. And I don't know why that's thinner. That's thicker. But look at these colors. Aren't they gorgeous? And again, just looking at, you know, using them in my junk journals. That's super thin. But I just thought they were gorgeous and they needed to find a home with me. So again, not a lot. I think I spent maybe 40, 50 bucks there. Oh, and I'm not done. I got something else too. This was the kind of the big one here. Okay. So at the Destash, I also got this. Came with the container. Oops, sorry about that. I won't be keeping it, but this was the Jenny Bolin collection, and this whole bucket was Jenny Bolin. And so it was what she had left from this collection, and so she sold all of it for $8. So I got this entire bucket for $8. This looks like the sticker sheet, and then maybe some other. There's a sticker sheet and then another 12 by 12 in there. Here's the Jenny Bolin collection of coordinates. What is this? Core impressions. So it's got the actual like engraving in there, so you could actually, I think, sand it down and it would come through maybe, or maybe it's just for the emboss, but I think you could actually sand it down or color on it. So like I said, this was just everything that she had. She said she'd been using it for a long time, and then she was just done. So I was trying to see if it has a date, 2012. That was really pretty. Look at this. And then classic red and black paper pad. Some pages from it that she'd taken out and used. Some green. Oh, I didn't even know it had all of this. So here are some embellished butterflies, some feather tags, more feather tags, more butterflies, these little milk tops, some paper. Oh, here they are. The little vintage True Milk, vintage milk. Little flat back pens. Here are some rub-ons. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. Some tags. More tags. Looks like they've just been separated. More of these little flat backs. All right, some alpha stickers. There was just a lot in here. Like I said, this was just what she had left. Stuff that she'd been using. But look at this. And it's all perforated, so you can actually break it up. Some more stickers. Bits and pieces here. More of these milk toppers. And then this is, it says album, but I don't know what it is. Our mini decks of playing style cards. And then vintage sew on buttons. That must have been a lighter collection of the sew on buttons, like a yellow. It's been opened, but oh, look. More of these guys. This little milk carton. Just so much stuff. So much stuff. Anyway, she just sold it. She's like $8. It's yours. So I snatched it up. I felt like it was a pretty good deal considering all the stuff that's in here. And it looks like a cute collection. I haven't even, oh my goodness. It's like, what's at the bottom? I was just trying to get some of this out. Stuff coming out of everywhere. Okay, so there's more of those flat backs. Here's a little picture. What is this? Chipboard buttons. Okay, those came loose, but there's more of the chipboard buttons. There's more of the little mini decks. This says clap, give, hop, feed, dance, and sit. And then a few more of the flat backs. And then all of this paper that I was just able to pull out. So just lots and lots of stuff in here. And it's funny because the quality of this paper, some of it is like super thin and then some of it's like really nice, but it all has Jenny Bolin's name on it. So some of it, I guess, for layering. So Jenny Bolin, it's the family tree. So again, really thin paper. This is a thick cardstock. This is a thick cardstock. Oh, look at that. How cool. How cool are those? Be Our Guest. Looks like these little cherries. This is really thick cardstock. So is this. Be Our Guest. And these are thin. More of those shapes. Look at that. Circles. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'll have to look this up. I mean, it looks like a lot of this collection, so a lot of her stuff. And then this is really thick cardstock. That's where that little baby came from. Here's some more thick cardstock. This is a really pretty, it's called Wren. This one's also called Wren. Look at that. Some thin cardstock and then thicker. Okay. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff in this case. Okay, so let me try to put this all back in because I made one more stop. Okay, so after the Destash, I went over to the Crafty Scrapper in Waxahachie. And I know if you've been with me for any amount of time, you've heard of the Crafty Scrapper. It is a brick and mortar over probably about 45 minutes from where I live. And it's my place to shop. I love shopping there. And she was celebrating her 20th anniversary for the store opening. And so you got to go in. They had a free make and take that you could do. She had cake. I think they had a crop event going on at the same time. I spent enough money that I was able to get the Crafty Scrapper 20-year tote. And if you know me, I love a tote. I'm a sucker for a tote. I will buy something in a store that I don't like or need if I like the tote. Okay. But in this case, I do like the store very much so. So, okay. This is what I got. And she had this little wheel going, and it had several 15%, I think a 20, and I think a couple of 20%, and then also a, there were some 30s, and I think there was a 40. There was a 40% off. And so you got to, spin the wheel when you got up there, and it would give you your discount. So this is what I picked up. And then I did the spinning of the wheel and got 40% off. So you would have thought that I would have gone back and picked up a lot more, but I didn't, because I'd already been through the store. And by then I was I was a little bit shopped out. So I ended up getting this little Stamperia decoupage because it's got the playing cards, so that fit in perfectly with my Alice in Wonderland theme. But I think that this was the Stamperia magic collection. It was some sort of mystical magic or magic collection. So again, the little card suites and stuff there, or suites, the card suits are on here. So I picked those up. I picked up these bundles that she does, these really large tags. And then I did a bundle of 20. This was my make and take. A little tag, isn't it cute? Kind words are like honey. And then my little honeybee. While I was there, I picked up Distress Oxide refill tea dye. So any of you who have been with me on this Alice in Wonderland journey, and I'm using this Distress Oxide tea dye, it has just been giving me the hardest time. It's a little bit dried out, so I was able to pick up a re-inker. Yay! So we're back in business. Oh, look, and then I got some of this decoupage tissue paper in Shabby Floral because it's so pretty. These little roses in here were so pretty. And then she had this whole set of grab bags, and they were $5, but again, I got them at 40% off. So it's like these, it's just remnants of stuff. And I like stuff and ephemera. And so I was like, you know what? I got to have it. So I picked up several of them that I saw bits and pieces of things that I liked in them. And I'll sort through them and put them, where they go in my collections, what they'll match up with and everything. But yeah, I was like, this is really cool. And look, some actual metal bits in some of them. I really liked that bit of pink there, that bit of pink mesh. And then I liked this tag. I thought that was so pretty when I saw that in there. So, see, I picked up several of these, had a little bit of a canvas, and then these flowers in here. And I was like, yep, I had to have this. Some metal bits. Okay. And then tying it all back into Alice in Wonderland, which is where we started to begin with. Okay. I kicked off this whole spending spree with needing to buy supplies for my Alice in Wonderland journal from Amazon. So it started with supplies and it ended with this Supremas Return to Wonderland collection. This is all she had. I think she might have had the 6x6, but I didn't grab it. But there wasn't any, I didn't see any ephemera or anything. All I saw was this large 12x12 and I think the 6x6. And that was it. And so this has been in my cart elsewhere on an online store. And I thought, oh, I got to have it. We're right here. I got to have it. Look at how cute this is. Isn't this adorable? So this haul did have everything to do with Alice and April. Look at how cute that is. Really pretty images. Really pretty. And look, these are all 100% usable. There isn't anything on those at all, on those branding strips. There's nothing on them. You can 100% use all of those. There's the large cat. Look at that. It says wrong way up here. Look at this. Return to Wonderland. Isn't that a gorgeous piece of paper? All right, and there's the back, and then the fussy cuts. Just using everything. Using everything. So it was absolutely gorgeous. So I got that on my way out as well and had a piece of cake and did my make and take. And then I was done. And so now I have the task of putting all of this stuff away and finding a home for it. I have no idea where half of this is going, but I did save a lot. So 40% off on this. And I think I only ended up spending 40% off. I think my total was like $62 for all this stuff at the Crafty Scrapper. And then my purchase at Joann's was like 20, I think not even $20, maybe $20. And then my purchase at Daiso was like $20. And then my purchases that I got at the Destash, I think I ended up spending like 50, 45, 50, something like that. I mean, it wasn't bad at all. So, I mean, overall, for the amount of stuff that I got and the quality of stuff that I got it at a really good price. So actually the stuff that I spent the most money on was the little bits that I picked up at Amazon. I think all of those were like $6 and $7. So those were the more expensive items. All right. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you have any questions about any of the products that I purchased, go ahead and leave those in the comment section too. And I'll do my best to answer as soon as possible. All right, that is it for me. And now I get to enjoy all my little goodies. And until next time, bye.